Hello and welcome back to A Little Lily Princess. We are now about to see what's happening in day 4. Now, these are the stats that we used last time. So as you can see, our stats currently have a focus on knowledge and artistry. In the last episode, we discovered that Sara, the protagonist for this story, has got her own maid, a woman from France. And it was even thought that for that reason that Sara could not talk French. But as it turns out, she is perfectly fluent in French, much to the dismay of her school leader, Miss Minchin. So let's continue. Alright, so it's the 4th week. Now I'm playing this as a new kid just arriving in a new school. How would I do? So we start off a bit secluded, as most kids probably do. But then we gradually get more and more sort of fitted in with the rest of the class, or in this case, the school. Okay, so let's see. Well, we just had a tea party during the weekend with the girls. So I don't think we should have a tea party this week. Yeah, it might actually be good to summarize right in the diary what happened last time in the tea party. As you can see, each activity has 3 possible outcomes. So even if you pick the same thing, you don't get the same. The chances are very slim that you get the same results 3 times. Let's see. Now, if I was min-maxing this, which I'm not, I would go for those that give us the least amount of artistry and knowledge, because those artistry is already maxed out. You can't get higher than 10. And knowledge would likely come with one of these, but I'm not doing that. I'm basing this gameplay off on what I think makes sense for week 4, a girl in week 4 in a brand new school on a brand new continent with people she have basically never met before. But first I need some coffee. And probably also for my phone to not make sound right now, so let me just make that one silent. There we go. Right. So let's see. Right in the diary, that's Monday. Tuesday. Yeah, I think let's read a book. Then go for a walk. Play with toys and either practice dance or... Yeah, let's go for a walk. Done. Okay, we got a lot of artistry, which... Oh, well, that's pretty balanced all around. I think the only thing that didn't got anything was grace. That looks nice. Right this way, dear Sara. Lady Pitkin will be absolutely charmed to meet you. Now, I think Miss Minchin is starting to soften up a bit to Sara. Yes, Miss Minchin. Where's she taking Sara? Miss Minchin is showing her off to another visiting parent, or maybe another outdonor. I'm sure I would know. Dear Sara must come into the drawing room and talk to Miss Musgrave about India. Dear Sara must speak French to Lady Pitkin. Her accent is so perfect. She didn't learn her French at this seminary, that's for certain. And there's nothing so clever in her knowing it. She says herself she didn't learn it at all. She just picked it up because she always heard her papa speak it. It's simply disgusting the way Miss Minchin trots out like an ornament. I can't imagine being so good at anything that Miss Minchin would want to show me off, especially at French. Sara is always imagining. She will no doubt grow up to be eccentric. There's one thing about her, though. She's never grand about herself in the least bit, even though she easily might be. I believe I couldn't help being proud, just a little, if I had so many fine things and was made such a fuss over. A little? If Miss Minchin brought you to courtesy for a major's wife, you would purr, just like Tybalt. Oh, Lavy, don't be silly. Being a cat might be nicer than being able to speak French. And every bit as likely for you. Wow. Lavinia, you are one mean lady. There's no use waiting here for Sara. She'll be at tea for hours, I'm sure. We may as well go on our way. Okay, so... We haven't really befriended Lavinia, and we have had a session with Jessie. We've met Lottie, but not really befriended her. We've met Mariette, and have had a session with them. And we've helped Ermengarde being better able to read. At least I'd like to think so. I think we should go for Lavinia. Again, going for the fact that I would go for a new friend, essentially. And who knows, maybe Lavinia can be softened up. It seems impossible from the way she is now with a rather haughty attitude, but who knows? Sara is very empathetic and very friendly with everyone, so let's play this event. Sara knocked upon the door. It is Sara Crewe. May I come in? You may enter. Miss Minchin's model student was, this day, holding court in her rooms. It was a rather small court, consisting, as it did, only of one loyal follower, Jessie Abbott. But Lavinia's posture suggested no doubts about her right to rule. Hello, Lavinia. May I? I beg your pardon. Your pardon? That is not begging. Jessie tittered behind her hand. I'm sorry, I don't understand. No, it is evident that there are a great many things you do not understand. That is only to be expected, seeing that you have been raised in the savage outlands. However, here in England we observe manners. Sara was perplexed. It was not her desire to be unmannerly, but she could not immediately perceive what breach she had committed. You're too forward, Miss Crewe. I have not invited you to use my Christian name. We have already been introduced. Knowing one's name is not sufficient reason to use it. A friend would call me Lavinia. You and I are not yet such friends. Oh, Lavy, she's very young. Children use names freely. It was clear to Sara that Jessie intended to demonstrate her own superior rank of friendship, not merely Lavinia, but a pet name. How funny that it should be called a pet name when it is Jessie who acts more as the pet to Lavinia. This is a school for young ladies. Even if she is young enough to be excused, she ought to practice. She will need all the polish that she can get. After all, Miss Minchin has set me to be her model. It is my responsibility to correct her mistakes. It's a silly game, these manners, but I do enjoy games. She curtsied then, if only slightly. I pray you will forgive me, Miss Herbert. I was too familiar. Lavinia waved a hand. You are forgiven, of course. Now, what did you wish to speak with me about? Miss Minchin said that your father was stationed in India. I was curious where you had lived, whether we might have seen the same... And now Lavinia held her hand up again. I have no interest in discussing anything whatsoever to do with India. It is not a proper topic for polite conversation. Sara frowned. From the odd look on Jessie's face, she too seemed to find the answer disappointing. Please understand, Miss Crewe, we are here in London under the shield of Her Majesty the Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, Defender of the Faith, Empress of India. Everything that matters in the world takes place within these miles. Trade within the city, government in parliament, and society within the palace. India is a distant hinterland, filthy and rife with disease. It is a jungle out there. Yes, there are jungles, but they are not any more filthy than London is. Nothing could be more filthy than London. A proper lady expresses interest in India only to imagine the thrill of being made to briefly visit such a wild and terrible terrain. You should be very glad that you have escaped it. Thrills are exciting. Hush. Lavender rubbed one hand over the other, as if brushing away dirt. I hope I have made myself clear. We will not be discussing India here. However, I believe we will be very pleased to aid you in learning the ways of the English, Miss Crewe. I am certain that is what Miss Minchin had in mind when she directed you to me. That is very kind of you. Not at all. It is my duty, and every good English man or woman is keen to do his or her duty. Like my papa, the soldier. Yes, if you must. I still don't understand why she refused to speak about India. Wasn't she born there? She must know how lovely it can be. Stay together now, girls. Keep in line and don't step in any puddles. Just because church is over is no excuse to soil your nice dresses. The air smells very different when it has rained. It still smells like London. There are too many people and chimneys and horses. I keep lavender sachets in my room so that I can smell the gardens even when I'm away from home. They're not much. My Aunt Eliza sent me the flowers. I stitched them myself. We have lavender in India too. Oh, but isn't lavender an English flower? I thought everything in India would be saffron and spices. Perhaps the British soldiers brought lavender with them so that they could smell the gardens too. Do you think that soldiers could be homesick? Of course, soldiers must be very brave and bear all sorts of dangers and hardships, but that doesn't mean they don't have feelings. And we must be brave too, even when we are far away from the homes and the people that we love. A carriage passed alongside Miss Minchin's students as they walked, seemingly packed to the walls with children. 8 of them, siblings all, and such a giggling mass of blonde curls and rosy cheeks as Sara had never seen before. Their merriment was infectious, and Sara found that a smile had come unexpectedly to her face. As such, it came as a slight shock when the carriage moved along and revealed a sight previously hidden on the other side of the street. A little beggar child in a heap of rags, too dirty for Sara to tell if it was a boy or a girl. Pricked by the sight, Sara stepped out of line and carried her little coin purse to the child. Sara, wait, where are you going? Here's a 6pence. Go buy yourself something warm. She hurried back into formation, but not before her steps were noticed by Miss Minchin. Sara Crewe, you must stay in line. If you go rushing off, you will put yourself at risk. I should not like to tell your father that you were struck down by a cab horse on the road. I only wish to... Generosity is a virtue, but it is not wise or safe to come in close contact with creatures of the street. You must be careful to clean yourself thoroughly when we return to the school. Yes, Miss Minchin. Sara looked back, but the beggar child had already disappeared from sight. How strange that one child should be hungry and dirty and on the streets, while another rides in a fine carriage and knows nothing but joy and laughter. And all of these things happen quite by accident because of the way that we are born. Okay, week 5. Oof, our grace is down. Well, that was a rather... Being scolded for being generous is probably not a particularly nice feeling. If I had been scolded like that, I would probably go in solitude for at least a day. So, I think either play with toys or read a book. Probably play with toys, so that's a nice way to take your mind off of things. One day of solitude would probably be enough. And obviously you'd still have classes and dine together with the others. Yeah, let's practice dance. That seems... So what icon is Grace exactly? The angel. Yes, I think a walk sounds absolutely fine here. Yeah, maybe a tea party to sort of collect what's been going on and then write in the diary. Yeah, I think that makes sense. That was a rather good one. Okay. Well, it did raise our grace, but definitely not by much. However, we got a lot of sympathy and a lot of vigor. And, well, artistry we can't really do much with. Even from a distance, there was no mistaking Lottie's shrill little voice. I want to hold the kitty! Don't be ridiculous. Sara came into the room to find Lavinia perched primly in the window seat looking down at the smaller child whose lips was beginning to wobble. Tybalt is in my lap and he is perfectly content there. Listen, you can hear him purr. That is because I am stroking him and he likes me. I want to hold the kitty! Keep your sticky little fingers away from his fur. Lottie's brow furrowed in fierce determination. Ignoring Lavinia's commands, she reached out to pick up the cat. Lavinia slapped Lottie's hand away. Oh. The sudden movement jostled Tybalt out of his comfortable doze. With a parting squeeze of his claws, he leapt from Lavinia's legs and hurried out of the room. Now look what you've done, you little brat. He scratched me, and if he's damaged my dress. It scratched you because you're mean. You wouldn't even let me touch it. It isn't fair, it isn't. A cat is not a rag doll. You cannot snatch and tug at it as you please, or it will bite your hand. Is that too difficult for a child of 8 to understand? She cannot help being younger than any more than we can help being older. If she's 8, she's 8. But she will be 9 next year, and 10 the year after that, and in 12 years she will be 20. That is quite grand. Dear me, how we can calculate. I don't want to be 20. You will be when you are, and you won't be while you aren't. There's no reason to want or not want to want. No, no, no! Be quiet or I shall slap your face. You mustn't. Lottie looked into Lavinia's blazing eyes and ran from the room, veiling at the unfairness of it all. You ought not to baby her, Sara. She must learn that she can't have everything her own way. Privately, Sara thought that Lottie was not the only student at the school who might need that exact lesson. Okay. Oh, we can't get Lavinia for this. Well, that's probably for the best. Lottie might need some comforting, but... So none of these requires artistry or vigor. And Ermengarde takes belief. More than Mariette. Odd. I think we shall go for Jessie. That afternoon, Jessie came to Sara's room for tea. The tea itself, though, seemed to hold little interest for her. I was hoping you could tell me more about your life in India. It all sounds very interesting and different to me. I'm only learning the ways that it was different by being here. My papa and I lived in a bungalow that was as large as the school, but wide rather than tall. There was a veranda where we could sit in the breeze and watch the sunset. The summers are so hot that many children of British parents become ill, so we are taken away to the hill stations, which are towns in the mountains near lakes where it's cooler. I had many toys and pets and servants who would salam to me and call me Miss Sahib. I suppose that is because we are rich, but it is all the life that I knew. Did you ride elephants and camelopards and tigers? I have never seen a camel leopard. There are elephants in India, of course, but they are mostly used to carry heavy equipment or for Rajahs to ride in parade. I have seen them, but I have never ridden one. And tigers are too dangerous to see up close. Anyone who tried to ride one would be clawed and eaten. They attack villages sometimes and carry off the native children, you know. It's terrible. One even attacked the outpost my papa was stationed at, and he had to shoot it to defend the citizens. How exciting! He is very brave. I miss him so. I hope he does not do anything too brave while I'm not there to look after him. Was it frightening traveling so far? No, there were many people on the ship with us. It was strange and not so comfortable at this room, but it did not feel dangerous. It would have been much harder if my papa were not with me. When young boys are sent back to England, they are sometimes made to travel with the regiments and no family at all. A pleasant companion makes a great deal of difference. You should always have one. Jessie pressed her hands together in her lap, the motion giving her a shy lift to her shoulders. I would very much like to travel the world when I'm older, but I don't know if I'll ever have the chance. Do you think you'll travel, Sara? Well, I do want to return to India as soon as I'm old enough, and I think I should like to visit France someday. I haven't thought of it beyond that. No, I don't know why Jessie would be blushing at that thought. But she is, apparently. It is a very big world. I suppose it would be a shame to live one's entire life in only a small part of it. Jessie gently swirled the liquid inside her teacup, her eyes locked on the little ripples and waves. Some people feel that London is the center of the world, and once you're here, there's nowhere better in all of the world for you to go. Why would you want more than perfection? I'm sure London is very nice, but... The cup trembled in Jessie's hands. Oh, I'm sorry, I spilled a bit of tea. How silly of me. Please, tell me more stories about India. All right. Jessie is more amicable. She does have that classic follow the leader kind of girl vibe, but if the leader is unreachable in terms of friendship, Jessie is definitely more out there too, and more open to become friends. Probably because Lavinia doesn't give her the attention she probably should have as a friend. Would you like to sit in front of the mirror while I brush your hair, mademoiselle? Oh, I don't think so. Not by the mirror. You see, it is nice to sit and think while you run the brush through my hair. Sometimes I remember stories or think of things I want to say to someone else. Other times it helps me relax. It must be like that for Tybalt when someone is petting him. But if I were looking into the mirror, then Sara in the mirror would be looking back at me, and we should have to pay attention to each other, or else we might be thought impolite. Mariette laughed in the back of her throat. That is as you wish. I had thought of doing something different with your hair, and if you could see, then you would know more quickly if you thought yes or no, and I could change it if you did not like it. Well, I think that it's better to look at it when it's finished. If you stop reading a book in the middle, you might have the wrong idea of what it's all about. Then I will show you when I'm done. Mariette is so kind. I would be terribly lonely in these rooms without her. This school is full of other girls, but they are, like me, guests of Miss Minchin. We live in the same house, but they are not part of my household. Mariette is the only person who belongs to me. It is nice to sit and think while she brushes my hair, and she has a way better way with it than my old Aya did, but I do miss my papa so. If he were here, if he were coming to visit me as some girls' parents do, how happy my life would be. I wonder where my papa is now. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak. No, it is good. Mademoiselle, you should speak your thoughts. Your father sailed many weeks ago. By now he's in India, yes? Home and safe, and thinking how different the house seems without your footsteps. Oh, I don't want to think of him sad and lonely. It is right that he misses you, and that you miss him. That is how things should be. But does that not mean that your life is nothing but sadness? Does it? No, I do not think I am melancholy. I would not wish to be. I enjoy my books and my friends. So you see, your papa, he will be lonely, but he will also feel other things. He will live his life, but he will also think of you. I believe you will soon hear from him. Oh, I hope you're right. No, you must be right. My papa will write me letters as soon as the ships can carry them, and I will treasure his words. And I do hope that my papa has a friend to care for him as Mariette cares for me. Right, that's it for this episode. So let's see how we should head into week 6 in the next one. But until then, take care.